I'm very happy to have with us right now another young Indian looking quite bright and sparkling. It is always good to see such faces. We have with us Soumya Deepta Saha. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Soumya.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. My name is Soumya Deepta Saha. I'm a first-year medical student here at Assam Medical College here in Dibrugarh in Assam. So I already have an undergraduate degree in biotechnology. So I call myself a part-time scientist and a medical student. So I'm like very keen on doing research as taking up as it as a subject. But so I was progressing in that direction, like doing hardcore research in my future as a career also. But it was my moment when I have some friends in medical colleges, and I went there, and I went to the labor room at almost 3 a.m. in the morning, and I saw maybe 4 day old child laying on the floor, because that's the situation in the government hospitals right now. So even with so many improvements going on, but still there are certain basic things that are lacking, and institutions are actually not that great, even with all the things that is going around now. So that was my cue that okay, I think I'm quite well with research, like I'm doing quite well in that. So why not pivot? So it was not a very like easy decision for me to pivot after doing this much, but that was my cue, and I did that. So it has been 7 months almost, and it has been a really nice journey till now. And so that is what my current situation is.
So can you just explain it carefully once again? You decided to become a doctor because of that, or what is the pivot?
Pivot was that what I could do, that was my cue moment, because I was thinking, because I had cracked some national level examinations, and I was getting into getting some IITs and ISers, and I had given some interviews at IISc also, and there was also an option for me to go abroad in Germany and Netherlands. So, but that was my, like, I was thinking what to do, what not to do with life right now. Though I really want to pursue research as an object, which was my core goal to do that. But that was the pivot for me to that, oh, I want to stay back here, and I want to do something for my people. And also I had that in mind that even if I become a doctor and I give my service, I can also carry on research, like physician scientists are the new thing. The main thing that lacks in the what I with my minimum like 7 months of experience that I have seen is that physicians, it's very shameful to say, but physicians lack the basics of research, and we need the most research in doctors need the medical doctors, they need the most of the researchers, but they are not. That's a shameful thing currently in India right now. There are certain institutes which are providing with better research options at the undergraduate level in medical degrees, but most of the colleges are not. So that's the problem there. So the scientific
what
thinking.
What kind of research do you think is missing? It's a very intriguing comment. So could you just bring some example, because we don't understand what you are saying. So could you please explain?
Thing is that suppose the development of a disease, if you're studying in biochemistry, suppose. So we just, as physicians, to be physicians, they just try to remember the stuff. Like, okay, this is going to happen, then that is going to happen. This is this compound. But why is it actually happening? What is the thing? So if you know the basis of the problems, why is it happening? Is the molecules, the active compounds? Then you can probably diagnose in a different way. Things can be different. So that is the main thing that lacks here. That is like that's what I was trying to say here.
Yeah, I understand. And I usually don't do this, but can I ask you, since you are a technical person and you had bachelor's, do you think AI can help in this?
To an extent, it can, because like a few weeks back, I also talked to a scientist from Harvard. Here I told him that one thing, that as blood tests are the commonest thing right now, right?
Right.
Like if you go to a doctor, you have to do a blood test. In 10 to 15 years, genomic test will become the thing. So you have to do a genomic test to make gourmet medicines. You can, like, cater medicines to yourself, like what kind of medicines are going to work on you depending upon your genotype and what kind of like problems you're going through. So in that case, AI will definitely play a very important role. It is going to play one because it's not very easy to compile all the data that we are going to generate in that if we do that in the future. So
Okay.
that's it.
All right. Sorry to interrupt, but it was, when people lack information, which you are saying that with research, the cause and this and that, the thought these days turns immediately, okay, if you can't do it, maybe an AI assistant can do it for you. And, suggest options that, look, this is the possible cause, and maybe here are the possible solutions. This is what I had seen long ago. Some people were doing. Anyway, I don't want to derail your conversation, so please go ahead.
So that is what I was saying, that obviously AI will obviously help us, but we need some the basis. AI will always be there. So, but
Yeah.
the basic, the human being has all it has to stay.
Yeah.
So robotic surgery is the new thing. People have been saying for the last 10 years, but
Right.
still have to use our own hands.
Right.
And
Yeah.
okay, a surgeon can do it from like sitting here there in France. They can operate here in Bangalore.
Yeah.
But you have to have some technicians on the ground to open the wound or stitch the wound. So it has
Right.
to there, and they
Right.
have to be skilled enough to understand that.
Right.
And because and also I said that the research has to be the core of medical profession, because it is okay, the scientists are working on the active compounds that's there, but the physicians or the doctors are the person who are actually there dealing with the things. So if they have that aptitude, or if they have that thing in them, so they can do it in a better way along with the scientists who are studying the basic sciences.
Yeah.
Right. But another thing that I like to also say is that since I have a undergraduate in biotechnology also, particularly in India, the scope of pure sciences is declining like anything. That's happening for me to say, because I don't understand, like applied sciences become such a big thing in now. Like everybody wants to become a doctor and an engineer without any kind of like what do you want. If I ask someone, what do you want to do with the degree, what is the why for the degree, they don't have the why. Okay, it pays well, okay, but that's not the case. Like if you're a hardcore science guy, you should know like what I can do with this degree. So that's kind of missing even in it's very, I should not be saying this, but it's a reality in my college also. I have some guys who they don't know what they're doing. Just because they got in here, they're doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
It is always that. It has been the case for the like 20
Yeah,
years
I
after
understand.
RTP.
See, what we need is a better funded scientific research system, so that people can think, I can get a job and I can get respect.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
right now, the money attraction of applied stuff is too much, and there's no other respect in anything else. So naturally, you run to that. It's parents are also keen. You get the job. You are keen. Your family responsibility. So you will do it. So the fundamental issue is the society willing to support these people? The answer is no. And
It's
it's no.
they are not supporting people.
If society is not willing to support people who have become rich in India since 1991 liberalization, they should put some of that money into this. But they don't. They put it into glorious weddings. It's like, okay, fine. My priorities are my consumption, not society's needs. Well, yeah, have your consumption. I'm not against it. But put some money for looking into the future, and the future cannot be there without research.
No, it cannot be.
Yeah, okay, let's continue.
One thing that we probably produce the highest number of engineers in the world, but so that means we are doing for JEE, we are doing for IIT JEE, we are studying for that. But we as Indians staying in India, not like Indians staying in India, they have not been able to do much in pure science. Lately, when I mean the last Nobel Prize that we got was in like 1900s.
Yeah.
But the thing, as Indians, so you have to. The thing is that if you want to become a good scientist, you have to move abroad, and
Yeah.
a degree matters a lot in India. Why is
Yeah.
that? Like we are doing like very well in abroad. Like if we take a lot of pride for Sundar Pichai and all, but we are not able to create one Sundar Pichai in India because those things are always lacking. The opportunities are so less, the competition is so high that you will always lack the in what to say, that's the, yeah, that purity in things that you have to think, okay, I'll do this, and no, you have to always like run in front of 100 people and get something.
Yeah.
So that is there. And
Okay.
also here the government also has to be blamed for certain things because you are paying re-entry scholarships to the PhD graduates. So why not pay that scholarship while they are in India so that they continue do their research, they can do proper research in India and not move abroad to complete their research or get funding. So
Yeah.
that's one of the, I forgot that scholarship that they have, but that's there. So, and in most of the higher institutes, higher educational institutes, the thing is that everybody is like from their second semester in the masters, or in like if it's a 4-year degree, they are doing like from third year, they're trying to get some, you know, some internships abroad, or they're trying to get, that's good to get something, but everybody in higher institutes, they're planning to move abroad.
Yeah.
And obviously, so that's there, it has not changed. So earlier it was okay, so we did not have opportunities, so it was okay to move abroad, and but now I think people, the best minds should try to stay back to some extent so that they can work for the country at least. And one thing is that somebody has to sacrifice, right? If a generation sacrifices, then the next generation can do better. So
Yeah.
that's what I think. And about the opportunities that I touched upon,
Yeah.
it is very skewed, to be very honest, in India. Things are very skewed. And yeah, I will have to not comment more on that.
All right, fine. Now go ahead. Continue with your thoughts. Very intriguing.
Uh, so this is something like the surface level. So if you would like to ask something, then I can maybe elaborate more on that, what I think
Yeah.
about it.
What do you think you have a degree in bioinformatics, okay?
Biotechnology.
Biotechnology, okay. Tell us
Yes.
about it.
So
What was
it's a
it like?
beautiful
What
subject.
was it like to be in that field? How is it developing in India? What do you see? What is biotechnology?
The vaccines that we are creating, that's biotechnology. The medicines that you're taking, that's biotechnology. Any kind of genetically modified organisms that we are having, the broilers chicken or whatever you're having, that's biotechnology. Everything, if you are modifying the biology, that is biotechnology to an extent. Yeah, there can be other things like microbiology will be involved, biofood technology will be involved, but
Hmm.
the basis is biotechnology. So that involves genetic engineering, first of all. Then there will be bioprocess engineering, any kind of thing that you're like processed food. So that's bioprocess engineering, or any kind of large scale manufacturing you need to do. You need to get rid of certain pests. You're doing plant engineering, plant genomic engineering, all these things. So it is a very interesting field. It is a vast field, but unfortunately in India, it has been going on like they have a different directorate for it, Department of Biotechnology. They are giving out funds, but again the funds are very skewed in that sense. So if you, here we say that if you want to do great in biotechnology, you have to move abroad.
Okay. So there's no market for your skills. If you are a top ranker kind, there's no buddies saying, hey, please come here, please come here, please come here.
No, there are markets. I wouldn't deny that there are markets, but it has not developed the way it should have developed in the
Okay.
last 20 years in India. It has like for the last 20 years, it have been saying that it is the next big thing going on after IT, but it has not been.
So biotechnology is not at IITs, right? It's a separate thing.
No, they do have IITs do have BTechs in biotechnology, but that's what, like if you are going to IITs, then computer science would be the biggest thing. So people don't prefer biotechnology that much.
Okay. But what do you think has been some progress in India in biotechnology?
They have been giving out scholarships through certain like JRFs. Like we have a CSIR UGC net for JRF, and then we have a DPT JRF that's going on. So they are paying quite well, like almost yeah, they are playing HRA and all. So that's okay. But again, the amount of JRFs that are giving out is very less.
Okay.
That's one of the problems. And funding is an issue to some extent, but some people get good funding, but again, you need to you have to do some background research also in that case.
Yeah, but my question is there any progress that India has made, not about funding, but in actual biotechnology development that we can say, yes, we have done a good job?
There have been, I won't deny it, but I cannot like directly name some, but there have been like Biocon, if we say, it has developed a lot.
What's
So it is a
Biocon?
biotechnology.
Corn.
Biocon,
Yeah, I understand.
Mazumdar Shaw's company.
Yeah.
So the most of the biotechnological companies are there down in the south.
Yeah.
So there it is very much blooming. But again, with biotechnology, people are also doing bioinformatics. So some people are doing bioinformatics, and then they are like pivoting again to IT sector. So IT is the only constant that's going on there. So
Yeah.
because it's kind of similar, the languages are similar. You're doing Python, so it's kind of similar, R and Python.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, that's why I mistakenly said bioinformatics for you, because that's what I hear all the time. But biotechnology, I mean, we do read of huge changes in biotechnology in medicine. You know, there are two which I have recently read about, and I just want to mention it to you. One was a boy who was deaf, and he had not been treated at all, so that his deafness was original. Okay, so the doctors could work on it, and here the types of deafnesses, the reasons for it, but whatever it is, this one particular type, they actually could trace it to a particular gene that was well known, but how to change that gene. So basically in Philadelphia in the US, it was a very simple operation. They just put a genetically modified liquid down his ear, and
Yes.
the new gene went into his ear, and lo and behold, he could hear. There was no surgery, nothing, just genetically edited, and he was done. He could hear, which he had not been able to. He was from a poor family in a Latin American country, so no treatment. But now he could hear. It was like, okay, we can do this. And the second one, which is more recent, is this genetically edited pig's kidney.
Yes.
Transplanted into an actual patient and removing some of the genes that would lead to rejection. Okay. So some 63 genes, I mean, look, I'm talking without knowledge, okay?
No,
I'm an economist. 63 genes were removed from the kidney so that it would not be rejected. Right? And so now they have put it in and it's working. Now, how long it will last, we don't know. And it's the first of its kind to use a genetically edited kidney. But if it works, then, this whole business of dialysis and waiting list for a kidney. And in India, they say young people are kidnapped and then one kidney taken out and then they're left to wander because there's a black market in kidneys. All that would vanish. And I wonder whether you have any thoughts on these too.
So the first thing that I had already mentioned, the genomic profiling test that's going to be very common. So obviously, it had to find out that particular gene that was not working properly.
Yeah.
So So that is the like epigenetic study we have to do. Like what kind of genes are particularly suppose a particular region has these particular genes, that particular genealogy has a certain genes that are active. So those particular population or that particular population, they might be susceptible to certain kind of chemicals. So you can use those chemicals to treat those particular diseases. I'm just giving you a vague example in that. In that case that you gave about that deafness of that child. So in that case, they had to find out that particular gene. So they had to do a genomic study, and from
Yes.
there they use those specific markers from where
Yeah.
they could find out, okay, this gene is not working. So we can
Yeah.
use that genetically modified gene in a fluid, so that
Yeah.
it can at least temporarily, if it can replace, or it can, if you use other kind of techniques in that way, you can permanently do it.
Yeah.
And in the later one, I don't know about the markets. It's a very huge thing. People say that we already have the care, like the cure of cancer, but it's a huge market, so that's not going to happen. So at least I remember 3 years back, 2 to 3 years back, there was a study from US that came out that they had found a particular drug called dostarlimab, which could which had already cured some of the, I think, spleen cancer cases, but I have never heard of it later on after like 3 years. So that was a very huge thing at that point of time. So you
Well,
never know what kind of nexus is
just
going on.
2 days ago, I had a Vidped with an Indian who lives in Norway, and he works in a hospital, and he's doing bioinformatics, and he's doing the genomes, which you mentioned. He's part of
Yes,
the genome project, and he is specifically targeting cancer, though he says, of course, uh, bioinformatics is not about cancer. Bioinformatics is about everything. But
yes,
he never mentioned any such thing to me that, look, bioinformatics has led to these are all hoaxes, There's nobody can stop the idea that drug companies can stop the production of a particular drug so that they can have their home market and all. I mean, honestly, today information cannot be bottled. If it doesn't come out in the US, it'll come out in China, because China is actually also, as you know, pretty high up in genome stuff. They
yes,
did
it is.
they did a baby with CRISPR, so they
CRISPR
know
Cas9.
how to do things. And you can't just say, okay, we can control the US drug market, but today information cannot be bottled. Okay? It will come out because the academic community is worldwide. They do talk to each other, and the labs also talk. These are all conspiracy theories of the 1950s when they were believed. Today, in the interconnected world, it is impossible. People file a patent and next day it is ruined by others copying it. In fact, people don't file a patent because the moment you file a patent, you have to give out so much information that it's pointless. Companies have patents on drugs, but other countries copy that next day. What are you going to do, right? You can't do anything. So I think that's just not true that cancer has been cured. That's just not, something that one can think of. Anyway, tell us about life in. Where was your biotechnology degree from? Which place?
I did it from Cotton University there back in Guwahati.
Oh, in Guwahati. So you have studied in Assam all your life,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
Okay. And you had to move to Dibrugarh,
Dibrugarh.
not stay in Guwahati for some reason.
For
What was the medical college is there, or?
medical college, I got the seat in here in
Ah,
Assam Medical College. It is the
okay.
oldest medical college in the state,
Okay.
particularly in Northeast also. So that's
Okay. So how's life in Assam treating you? Do you wish you
why.
were outside Assam? I mean, just asking.
Uh, no, it's pretty well actually. I really like over here.
Hmm.
It's my place. I was born and brought up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of development going on right now. In the
Hmm.
particular in health sector also, a lot of changes are happening, and like liberalization took place in India in back in 90s, but it's now happening. I have seen like it's happening in the Northeast now with this
Hmm.
new government. So things like I would not like to be political about it, but things are changing a lot. So that's the truth.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
earlier there was a problem with militancy in Assam. People used to they were scared to come to here, but now that has also been resolved to almost it's not there almost.
Okay.
So it's a pretty well placed.
Okay. Now, just in this emerging field, biotechnology, are there any girls in it in your college, or what's the situation?
No.
I mean, the doctors, yes, the girls have been there for years,
Yeah.
so that's not an issue. But in this new field,
more than 50% are girls in here.
wow.
50%. It's
Wow.
like it's a majority girl, like a female course. A
Even
lot
in
of
even in so-called backward Assam.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
more than 50%.
Okay. All right. I get the point, that this is a very attractive because it's, it doesn't require field work or outside work. It's very much conceptual work and analytical work and safe environment.
No, I beg to differ. There is
Okay.
a lot of field work also, depending upon the specialization that you're taking in.
Okay.
So if you want to do particularly a genomic study on certain, so that will be also a part of biotechnology for doing some genomic study. So you have to go to the field, you have to collect samples by yourself. So that's there. So people are doing that, and people are doing pretty well in that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the correction. I'm outdated, obviously. So what do I know about this field? Anything else? Any tips for young people that you have?
One thing I would like to say is that explore a lot to all the teenagers, like pre-teenagers, who want to set a goal for their careers or something. Explore a lot, do everything, and give equal amount of time, if not less or more. Give equal amount of time at least to find out certain things what you want to do in life, and do everything. In that case, you will learn a lot from there, and you will also you'll be cleared about in life that what you really want, and in that way you will pave yourself into that particular field wherever you want to go.
Okay. Can you just illustrate with your own self how you did this?
So I had always in my mind that I want to do pure science. I want to become a scientist someday. And obviously I call, as I already told, I call myself half scientist. So, but I had to pivot because there was a why. My why was strong enough that, okay, I want to pivot. I left a lot of great opportunities. I don't know that my parents were like, oh, why want to do this now? But I was like, no, this is my calling. I want to do this. If my why is strong enough, then it won't matter later on also. And for me, particularly, research was something like I can do it now also. I can write some review articles or something. Okay. I won't be able to do some hands-on research, my wet lab research, but dry lab research, I can still do that. So I'm still doing it. And other than that, later on, after my med school, who knows, I might probably do a PhD or something. There's always
Yeah.
a possibility.
In the US, I know personally at least two people, and this is it's not common, but it's done. What's called MD PhD. MD means what we in
Yes.
India we call MBBS
Yeah.
and PhD. So they are doctors proper, but they also have a PhD proper. So it's called MD PhD.
You have the best of both the
You have
worlds.
both. You
Yes.
are in the research field because you have a proper PhD.
Yes.
In a related subject, could be in public health, could be in biotechnology, and you also have an MD. You're a doctor. And when I was a student at MIT, one of our professors has a PhD in economics and an MD. He was a doctor and a PhD in economics. So it's not common, I would say, but it is you are in huge demand because you really straddle the research field proper. Not medical research as a doctor. You do research as a PhD. And then you also have an MD, and many of the senior doctors at top medical places like Johns Hopkins University. Okay, those who are the teaching people, they have
Yes.
PhDs and MD. Okay, then you can't become a professor at Johns Hopkins University Medical College and be one of the top people on the East Coast of the United States unless you have a doctor's degree and you have a PhD. Okay. So in fact, I went to one of them, and I was, Johns Hopkins is about 80 kilometers from my house, so it's quite a distance to go. And we have a center locally which I could go to. So I asked this doctor that should I go there or should I come here? And she said, "Hey, they are my students. Why do you want to go there?" Come here, it's 80 kilometers, 50 miles, I know, but look, I am their professor. They are my students. Why are you going there? So she has a PhD and an MD. So, it's not ruled out at all for somebody like you. Maybe you have to go abroad to get your PhD, but certainly it should emerge in India also because they are in the front line of delivering medical research.
Yes.
So anyway, that's a good thing that you have done. Any other tip you have for young people?
Don't run behind applied subjects. Don't run behind that, okay, if I do this degree, this is going to give me this much package or this much CTC. If you are into science, because I am a science guy, so if you're into science, study science for the sake of it. Like, okay, if I want to study physics, okay, study physics properly. Don't study physics just because you want to get into engineering and you want to do IT or computer science. And there is a fad becoming now that everybody wants to do computer science. And new thing is that data science and AI, everybody is offering these degrees, like
True.
masters in data science and AI. But what? You can even learn those things on YouTube these days. You don't need a degree
True.
for that.
No, you don't need a degree.
You need a degree for that.
No, you don't. You could, sometimes I think maybe I should learn AI, but I don't have the time for it. Anyway, anything else you want to add here?
One thing, since you mentioned about it, in India, this from my situation, like medicine, people do after 12th.
Yeah,
After grade 12, they're doing medicine.
yeah,
But in US, it's different, right?
yes,
They have to do pre-med school and then they have to do a
yes,
med degree, a degree.
yes, yes,
So I believe that is a better way of doing it rather than directly doing it after 12, because you at least get to know something about the course that we are going to do. So you already have a background knowledge in like a higher level than the grade 12th. I don't know what it is called. I think it is called MCAT exams in the US.
yes,
Uh, yeah. So if you're doing that, and then you are after MD, you're doing your step. I think your MD, you're doing this steps examination, USMLE steps. So in that way, you're getting and you're becoming a better doctor in that sense. So the good doctors, like the doctors from like very high ranking colleges from India, they always prefer to give USMLE and like get rotations in the US and
yeah,
something, so that they can at least learn in a better way. So that's there.
yeah.
So
But
there
just
is
to
in
clarify, just let me clarify. In the US, you need a 4-year bachelor's degree before
yeah,
you can even take the test for
yes,
medical colleges. And in that 4-year degree, you have to take certain courses that are called as pre-med courses.
yeah,
Okay. So you can't just say, look, I took a bachelor's in economics and now I'm going to take a medical college test. You have to have those specified courses in science. I don't know what all you have to do, but they are hard
yeah.
because some people cannot finish in 4 years. So then they have to take a 5th year to finish those pre-medical courses. And then only you can apply for the medical test. So the 4 years, the bachelor's degree is a requirement. Another requirement is that you have taken those courses that are designated as pre-medical courses. And then only
So
you
that's
can
a
get
better way.
into a medical
Yes.
college. But India needs many more doctors than the US. The proportion of doctors to the population is much less in India than in the US. proportion is much less. So we really need many more doctors than we have, because without it, as the population is whatever 1.4 billion, we don't have enough doctors. So we need
Don't
both.
have enough doctors. Yes.
We need both top level doctors, and we also need those who can quickly provide basic services. So there's a dilemma, but we can talk about it at some other time. Anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, so about this one, there should not be like the quality should also matter. There should not be only quantity in that sense.
Okay, yeah.
If you want more doctors, so their quality should also be maintained.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to add.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Soumya. It is a great pleasure to have you here. Please send me more people from medical and from Assam, so that I want it to be this to be broader than economics. We've had engineers, but you are the first one from a true medical college. So thank you for being here. Going from 0 to 1 is the highest growth rate that anything can have, right? From 1 to 2 is only doubling, but from 0 to 1 is infinite growth. So you have given me the opening to have people from medical. And if you have friends and all, and plus also I want some more people from Assam and the North Hill in Northeast and the hill states. So please let me know later. Okay. So thank you so much. Let's end it here now. And maybe we'll catch up with you in a year to see what you have achieved and what you are doing and what your new thoughts are. Maybe there's another why, maybe there's another pivot. We'll see. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yes, sir.